Hey guys, welcome back to Year of the Demons. Now we're on episode 6, I believe now, but we're still on Demon 3, because there have been 3 total movies with the name Demon 3 attached to it for some type of marketing or whatever. And this one is also known as the unfortunately titled Black Demons. It's made by Umberto Lenzi in 1991, and Umberto Lenzi also made a movie called City of the Walking Dead, also known as Nightmare City, which, boy, is it like one of the worst horror movies I've ever seen, and I will, if anyone wants me to review it, I will, but oof, it's a tough one to watch. He also made Cannibal Ferox, or Pharaoh, or whatever, which was actually a pretty decent cannibal movie. So he's coming from like some middling highs and some low lows, and we're given Black Demons. So, like I said, this was made in 1991. Basically, the name is Demon 3 was attached to it just to kind of cash in on the whole Demon series. The plot of it is there's 3 protagonists. 2 of them are American brother and sister, Dick and Jessica. And then Jessica's boyfriend is British, and his name is Kevin. That's not too relevant to the story, but now you know. So, in it, they go to Brazil, just kind of backpacking around, and Dick, being true to his name, decides to become engulfed with this local religion ritual thing called Mucamba, or something like that. Macumba, or something Brazilian like that. So anyways, he gets involved with this kind of like black magic, witnesses this forbidden ritual, and then he gets like some very vague powers, maybe, I don't know. Something happens to him, because eventually when they get stuck at this abandoned plantation, he's able to like raise the dead in this cemetery. So, the dead that he raises, though, are 6 slaves that tried to escape years ago from the plantation. They were found, they were tortured, they were blinded, and then they were even killed and buried on the premises too. Now, after that happened, we're given like that backstory like early on, and then we're given the zombies coming back. And as you can tell, I have said the word zombie many times in this review, despite this being Year of the Demons. I will talk about some of the unfortunate things about what I like about this movie and what I mainly don't like, but these are zombies, not demons at all. And there's only 6 of them. They made a point to say that there's only 6 slaves that were blinded and killed and buried there. So we're working with a limited number of antagonists, and they are zombies, not demons. So while watching the bonus features on this, I also found out that the director actually kind of really likes the plot of this movie and thinks it's one of his better films. However, due to both casting, which he kind of didn't have a huge say in who they got in the movie, along with actually filming on location, which made just the shoot so difficult and rough for them, that he thinks that the movie kind of fell apart, and it's not one of the best movies he's made, but it would have been his favorite if things went the way they should have for him. It is kind of interesting that like the slaves are kind of like getting revenge against their oppressors, but it also kind of loses a little bit of marks on that due to the fact that they don't actually get revenge on anyone who oppressed them. Like none of the people who had tortured them and killed them actually, or even like relatives of them, get like what they deserve. And it also kind of loses more points due to the fact that these black characters are portrayed just as mindless zombies. Now, there is some like higher order thinking that I'll get to in a moment that you can tell that they're doing, but they're essentially are mindless zombies, which is not the best way to portray them getting revenge on their oppressors. Getting into some of the good things about this one, what I kind of mentioned before is they're not completely mindless. There's times when the zombies are about to attack someone, then hear someone else coming, so they stop and retreat into the shadows. So you can tell that there is thinking going on, and they can be tactical about their fighting. So that is kind of interesting take for the zombie thing. It's not like they're completely brainless zombies, but again, I don't know if it's exactly a good thing. It's just something of note. It definitely didn't detract from the story. I don't know if I can find a picture of it, but there's like some really bad Here's Johnny from the Shining ripoff that just made me laugh when they did it. Sometimes the zombie effects are pretty decent, like makeup-wise, but not on all of them. And also, when the gore does happen, it's good. It's not great, but it is good. It's also, like I mentioned before, filmed on location, so it's in Brazil. A lot of all those sets look really good. The plantation looks great, and there is some like good stuff going on with this movie, but largely I don't think it just doesn't hold your attention like Demons 1 and Demons 2 did. And it can be a hard movie to watch. We talked about some of the good stuff that the movie did, but there's also like a lot of bad stuff that the movie had going for it. So like I said before, these are not demons. They are zombies. I was kind of holding out hope that maybe the demons kind of took over the bodies of these decaying corpses, and that's what brought them back to life, but the characters literally called them zombies in the movie, and the director even referred to them as zombies in the bonus features. So this is not really a way to kind of shoehorn this into being a demons movie. It's a zombie movie. I think it's kind of interesting though, because the title is Black Demons. That's the title they wanted to give it, not like the Demon 3 title that they were given later by a producer for marketing purposes. So it's kind of interesting they referred to them in demons in the title when clearly they are not demons at all. Along with that, there is some kills just aren't spectacular. The acting is piss poor. I would say the British person, Kevin, his acting was actually pretty good. But I would say Dick, kind of like the guy who like sets all this in motion, his acting is so bad. And according to Lenzi, he believes that Dick was the best actor in the movie, and that was his favorite performance. And to me, it was just so I don't even want to say uninspired, because that's giving him more credit than he deserves. There's times when he just seems like he has no mood to him. He's just saying lines with no intonation behind them, and it's not a fun performance to watch. There's also nothing really supernatural happens for like 25 minutes, so you're kind of left. You're given like the first act of the movie, really nothing happens in it. Also, I could not stand any of the girl characters in this movie. If any single girl, they don't do anything. They just scream when the zombies are there, and hopefully a man shows up to save them, or they just die and let the zombies come to them. So it's very bad when you watch a movie where the women don't do anything. Also, there's a point in time when a girl who's in her underwear hears some noise outside of the plantation. So she like straight up leaves in her underwear and like goes to like the stables to check it out. I was like, no one would ever do that. But they do in Italian cinema. So there's a lot of this movie that just doesn't vibe well with me at all. It mainly just kind of exists to like try to fill like this niche that was of zombie movies that were huge in Italy, but by 91 they were just not the kind of same movie. Like this feels like it should have been like a early 80s, mid 80s movie, and it really doesn't fit with the time that it was released in. Oh, also think this is important to note. They have Molotov cocktails in this to destroy the zombies by just throwing it at them. These straight up explode. I can tell you right now that Molotov cocktails do not explode. They have no fuel in them. The alcohol just helps them burn and spreads the fire. There is no explosion. However, a lot of movies do that, so you can kind of forgive it because they just want to go for spectacle. There's not really a lot of kills of note. There's a lot of eyeball stuff because like the slaves are blinded, so I guess that's kind of like a motif they're going for. Like there's a hand scythe to the eyeball. A lot of just stabbing in it. An axe to a head where it actually looks pretty gooey when they do it. Also, there's an effect where Dick stabs one of the other characters in the neck with a knife, and like you can see it, and it's actually very convincing. It's immediately followed up with some of the worst death acting I have ever seen in a movie. So that immediately kills the effect right then and there. The final verdict. As a Demons movie, it horribly fails because it doesn't have the same great special effects going on, and it doesn't have the same like rip-roaring like engagement that just seems like a very fast pace, like everything's happening. It's very much more low-key. Kind of like what The Ogre was, but honestly I didn't enjoy it as much. As an Italian horror movie, it also is kind of a weak entry overall because it just seems like it's very generic and it doesn't need to exist, and it doesn't offer anything new. Now, like the director said, that if this had better acting and also some better like working conditions so they were able to get more of what they wanted done, I think this would have been better. But I think there's more than just that the director thought the problem was. I think there's some fundamental script issues that just kind of weigh this movie down, and it feels like there's some good ideas, but they, even with better acting, they would not have been like portrayed in the way it needed to be an effective movie. So overall, I cannot say I recommend Black Demons, mainly on the name alone. Alright, so we are finally done with Demons 3, and we're going to move on to Demons 4 next month, which is also known as The Sect, or The Devil's Daughter, and is also directed by Michelle Soavi, who directed The Church. So I am very much looking forward to doing this one, and hopefully it is a step above Black Demons and The Ogre.